everyone, and welcome to the Nerdgasm Podcast, the podcast where we talk about things that are nerdy and things that are naughty. I am the 3D Glasses, known as Merlin Sensei. With me, of course, is the Light Bulb Terrarium, known as the 12-Sided Guy. Of course, we have the Light Up Goggles, known as Switch Rigs. And the attitude adjuster paddle known as the Mupacabra. And that makes us Nerdgasm Inc.
That makes us Robert's Rules of Order, apparently.
Hey, I like Robert's Rules of Order.
These are more... Oh, I apologize. Point of interest. This makes this more like Bobby's Rules of Order than it does Robert's Rules of Order. I apologize, guys. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey, so you'll hear this before you hear Kink Quest. So I sound better on Kink Quest than I do right now, but it was recorded first.
Yeah, Moo has actually progressively gotten worse as time goes on.
She's got that Mickey fever. She's slowly transforming.
It's true.
It's okay.
Okie dokie. So, how's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? You doing good?
I stopped a hacker today. That was fun.
You stopped a hacker?
Hacker?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yep.
How'd you do that?
They were actively on the computer with me, and faster hands than them, I guess, to delete their program before they got to mine, essentially.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was in basically who had the faster mouse skills and computer skills. Thankfully.
That's actually fairly impressive if they were maybe they're not a career hacker. Nothing against your skills, but, you know.
Yeah.
They may be used to...
They were credit card thieves, so probably not ace hackers.
They're probably used to dealing with older people who are like, oh, of course I'll give you remote access to my computer so you can fix this. They're not used to people trying to actually actively combat what they're doing. Not to downplay your skills, but...
There's a PC...
There you go! That's right! You raise your paddle too!
There's a PC game that's kind of based on, diving the dark web and combating hackers and stuff like that. And I'm trying to remember what it's called. Isn't it called, like, Welcome to the Game or something like that?
Yeah, it could be. It's one of those. Or iHack or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Who wants to go ahead and get started this week? I think we've got a lot to talk about. Moo is kind of in the back seat right now. She's just kind of there to look pretty like she always does.
I did have something that I wanted to bring up. Because I'm wondering, did anybody else see the new Batman? The Robert Pattinson one? Okay. So, I won't give away any spoilers. But what I wanted to talk about, actually, Paul Dano plays... I don't know if it's Dano or Dano. But he plays the Riddler. And this is the first movie where, I was afraid of him as a character. He was so much more realistic. He was every sad, this is going to sound terrible, but every sad, lonely, active school shooter that, you hear about in the news, where he just really felt like his whole life he had been the victim and he had been ignored. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't feel that way, right? But I'm saying it was a very real interpretation of a villain in a way that I did not expect. They really gave him a lot of humanity. They gave him a lot of, he wasn't... I was discussing with Dress Blacks, and this whole Batman movie felt a lot more like, rather than focusing on superpowers, you realize these are people. And they're just, he has gadgets and a little bit, and he has, some gizmos, and he has the suit, which is a little bit of armor. But it was much more like, hey, we're dealing with people, and we're dealing with the flaws that people have. If you were hesitant to watch it because of Robert Pattinson, yeah, he's a little sulky for Batman, but Batman's kind of always sulky and quiet. I really enjoyed this one. I think it's worth giving it a watch if you're on the fence about it. And it really if you have any kind of interest in like psychology, sociology, that sort of background, it's fucking fantastic. I figured more of you would have seen it. I'm not surprised the Switch hasn't, because Switch is always the one that has actually seen what we want to talk about. But yeah, any thoughts, Switch?
Definitely on the mark with all the things you just said. And this is only like year 2 Batman, so he doesn't have like all the gizmos and gadgets down just yet. He's still learning. I found it very, very good on how he depicted that age of Batman.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And this is not a spoiler, but my most favorite part was just when they introduced the Batmobile. I was like,
yeah,
I'm not a Batmobile person, but damn, that
even
I'm not even
that
a car person.
they didn't make it so ridiculous over the top. Like, it was still like a normal enough car. That was really neat. I thought they just did a really good job with, and also like, not, if I have to watch Batman's fucking origin story told the exact same way one more time, where they just throw it in at the beginning and they're like, oh, his parents are dead. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. We know that's how Batman works. That's how Batman has always worked since the beginning of time.
We need that slow zoom in on the barrel of the gun, the pearls falling to the ground outside the theater.
No, we really don't. And I'm so sick of it. I thought this movie did a very good job with that as well. I was really impressed with just the way they kind of stripped away a lot of the extraneous shit. And they really just made this one about people trying to solve a puzzle. I think it's really good. It's on HBO Max if you guys want to check it out, but it's very good.
One last thing is that if you pay attention, the entire movie, besides the Batcave, takes place in like 5 blocks of Gotham. Yeah, if you pay attention, you'll see that they only go about 5 blocks of city space that all of it takes place in. It's really interesting.
The only thing, though, I have to complain about real quick now that I think about it. There's a point at the end where there are these people trapped under the truss, and all I think was like, that shit's not that heavy. I move that shit all day. All I gotta do is push. Just a little tiny push and they're free. What the fuck? Why are we acting like this is heavy? And that made me crazy. That was my only complaint in the whole movie, was like, truss is not that heavy. You're trying to make this into a bigger deal than it is.
Right, and the end of the movie, yes, that takes place a bit further, but the main like 2.5 hours happens within a 5 block radius of everything.
See, this is where somebody else should have their paddle up, ready to talk.
I was waiting to see if anyone was going to jump in, so I'll go ahead. Let's talk about Elon Musk for a second. Elon Musk, probably the richest man in the world at this time, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I know that he's richer than Bezos, and I think that was even before Bezos retired or whatever. But Elon is trying to purchase Twitter for about $43 billion, or just over $54 a share, so that way he could have controlling interest.
Elon Musk is, in fact, the world's richest man.
So apparently the whole reason this kind of arose is because Elon Musk believes that, number one, the people that are running Twitter don't really even understand how Twitter works. They specifically looked at one CEO who has a Twitter account but has never actually logged into Twitter, posted anything, liked anything, followed anyone, and it's just kind of like, well, why should I believe in your product if you don't believe in your product? It's like there's an old saying, never trust a thin cook, or something like that. So apparently that's one of the reasons, and the second one is Elon Musk believes that some people on Twitter are unrightfully being silenced. I haven't read too deeply into it, but Elon believes that, you know, free speech is huge. You know, I mean, it's one of the, you know, American guaranteed rights, right, between life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and owning a gun. But you know, free speech, you know, it's important stuff. So I get where he's coming from. I just hope that he also has the wherewithal to be like, yeah, it's great that people can say what they want to say, but again, if people don't like what's being said, there are consequences. You
Yes.
can be silenced, so to speak. You know what I mean? You're allowed to say it, but then we're allowed to say,
I feel like most of the people that you're seeing getting silenced on Twitter, it's not small things that they're saying, right? It's large scale riot inducing types of things. And I get that he wants to protect freedom of speech or whatever. I think he's a piece of shit, personally. I think there's no reason that anybody with that much money should get to speak for normal people. If you have that many $1 billion, congratulations, you're no longer in touch with the American people. You're no longer in touch with the common people. You're no longer, it's not your choice anymore. You don't matter. Fucking do something good with your money and get the fuck off of the internet.
well, that's the thing. Like, I think that that's what Elon Musk is trying to do. Like, he may be a bit misguided in his attempts, but I don't know if he's necessarily a good guy or a bad guy. But a lot of the time, I don't know. It just, that is extremely loud.
I apologize. I just wanted a bunny rabbit. That's all.
I just honestly think that he's kind of like a kid with a giant unlimited sandbox and is just throwing stuff out there to see what happens.
But which billionaire was it that was like, if you guys give me the plans of what you're gonna do to help the environment and people and suffering for children, I'll give you the money. I can't remember which one that is, if it was Bezos or if it was Musk. One of them did, and they wouldn't give him the plans for what they were going to do to make sure like every kid got food. But they wouldn't give him the plan and where the money would go.
Yeah, I don't know for sure myself. I mean, I don't
I'll
know.
investigate.
But yeah, so that's what's happening with Twitter drama and Elon Musk, and everybody's kind of scrambling to see what he's going to do. Moo.
I do know, actually, speaking of Elon Musk, the latest thing that I read, he said he's homeless. Elon Musk is homeless. He rotates among friends' houses right now. I don't understand how that's possible, because he has 2 children. I know that he and Grimes are not married, but you have 2 kids. I would fucking think you would be involved with them on some level. But you don't have a home?
That's the thing. Like, maybe his children have a home, the mother of his children has a home and stuff like that. Maybe he himself just chooses not to have a home. Because if I was that rich, I wouldn't own a home. Do you know how much house taxes are?
Yeah, I can
Depends
see
where
why
you
to do
live.
that.
It depends where you live, and it depends, because we've been looking into that a lot right now. When we look at houses, is looking at what are the property taxes on this house. If you don't buy a multi-billion-dollar house, your taxes will not be as high. If you don't have to live in the biggest fucking look at my giant dick house, you don't pay look at my giant dick taxes.
Fair.
That was a weird point to walk in as. I apologize.
I walked in on giant dick taxes. I'm like, yeah. Dick taxes.
Those big old dick taxes, right, 12?
12 knows all about it. Okay. Moving on from Elon Musk. Recently, throughout the years, I'm sorry to say, the U.S. life expectancy continues to decline year by year by year. Now, granted, you hear that and you think, oh my God, what are people losing 5, 10 years off their lifespan? It's more minute than that, but it's still kind of, alarming. Um, in 2020, in a study that was published on the preprint server medRxiv, and that means it hasn't been peer reviewed or anything like that. So this is just technically conjecture at this time. But it seems that the average U.S. Uh, uh, um, resident, resident has lost approximately 1.9 years of their lifespan, with an additional zero point 0.4 years being lost coming into 2022. So whether or not it's COVID related,
things that it makes me think of the Halloween tree. I know we've talked about this before, how they each give up a year, and how when you're, right now, yeah, a year doesn't feel like a lot, but when you're at the far burned candle end of your life, a year is a big difference. And you think about sometimes how much happens in a year. It's interesting though, Merlin, because you were bringing this up. We're losing life expectancy, but also the birth rate has plummeted because of the recession. I just went to a job interview at a university and I was talking to them because the years that I was there, my senior year in college, we had so many residents on campus. We were putting kids in lounges. We just didn't have space. And it was like, hey, look, we know this isn't ideal. Give us 6 weeks. We'll get you all moved out. But there were so many people, we couldn't put them everywhere. And now, that's what he said normally we have about 6,000 kids on campus. This year, it was 2,400. That's it. And he said 2026, the birth rate, the class of 2026, after that, it just plummets because of the recession. Nobody was having babies.
Yeah, I was going to say, and even I feel that even if the birth rate didn't have a major decline due to the recession itself definitely impact things. I mean, prices, inflation is constantly, in an upward movement, but paychecks, and wages are still just line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of people were fighting for. They were like, please pay us $15. Oh, I'm not going to pay you $15 to flip my burger. Then we won't flip your burger. Oh, who's going to flip my burger then? I can't flip my own burger. Well, fuck you.
Just an interesting situation that we're losing. Feels like we're losing on both ends. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think we're vastly overpopulated as a species. And I say this as someone who has 2 children, but still, there's a point at which we have to look at what we're doing to the environment. And I think more and more people, too, we give millennials a lot of shit, but they're realizing it's just not feasible to have a family at the rates we're being paid. It's not feasible to have a family at the price of homes. It's not, I've been reading more and more stuff lately about how people realize we talk about how some people aren't responsible enough to own homes, but they've got a rental history that says they're more than capable of making those payments every month. We're the ones as a society who've decided who can and can't afford homes, or who can and can't be allowed to own homes. And that's remarkably frustrating. And it's something we're keeping in mind as we start to house hunt, is that, it doesn't matter what our rental history looks like. It doesn't matter what we make each month. There's a credit score that we have, and that determines everything, whether or not we're responsible enough or not. So it makes sense that fewer and fewer people are having children. And I would argue that because of that, that's part of why we're starting to see life decline as life expectancy decline as well, because we're going to hit a point eventually excuse me, goodness gracious, we're going to hit a point eventually. There's nobody left to take care of us. And all of these like mixed-aged families where you get people taking care of older relatives, there's just not going to be feasible anymore because there's not going to be anyone there to do it.
Yeah, I know that we've talked about it on the podcast before, but like there's always been the stigma of, the older generations of, hey, I was able to do it at your age with less and so on and so forth. And it's like, well, yes, that was before everything kind of got fucked. You know what I mean? It's like that was when, nobody knew smoking caused cancer. Nobody knew that the ozone layer was being depleted. Nobody knew, that all this shit was going to happen. And now we're suffering those consequences. I mean, I'm just naming stuff in general just to give kind of, an example. And it's like, hey, all these prices have gone up. We need a living wage so that way we can go to school, raise a family, have a house, picket fence, all that good stuff. Like so many people have 2 income homes, 3 income homes, whatever, and they're still scraping by.
Another thing that we're doing that's not helping with our generations and our generation, the generation after us, is we're automating everything, and even cashiers are being automated when this is all happening, and we're gonna be down to call centers essentially, and those will probably be taken away from us eventually too. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Yes. It's either they got to make it so that we can live without having to make a certain amount of money, or we need to, put people back in the workforce somewhere where they're going to be able to do something instead of being, replaced. I like automation, but you know what? Even my, $15, $16 an hour job that I have, it's still hard to make a living wage, even with the amount that I am currently, you know, paying per month to be able to live where I'm at.
It's interesting because I've been at Walmart with where I'm, people are complaining about, well, if, all this self-checkout taking away jobs. And finally, I heard a cashier snap at them. It's not that they're automating it. We can't get people to work. We just can't get people to come in. Nobody wants to come in because we're not paying them a living wage. So why would they? But you talked about call centers. Dressbox and I worked this past weekend at a cultural event, so we were out until 1 a.m, working every night. All we wanted to do was eat. We were in a college town. Things should be open. We tried to call Papa John's, and fuck you, Papa John's. Their pizzas, you can't just call a store now. The pizza delivery order thing goes to a fucking call center. We talked to somebody in India to order a pizza in Akron, Ohio. And then we tried to place the order. We go to the store to pick it up. We're like, hey, order for Dressbox. They're like, oh, we don't have it here. Like, are you sure? Because we placed the order. They're like, yeah, it's not in our system. And we're like, okay, great. So can we just place the order now? Oh, no, we can't do that. We can't take your order here. You have to call the number. And we're like,
Wow.
We fucking called the number. We called the number and you won't give us our goddamn pizza. It's 1 a.m. I just want to eat. Like, I want to go to bed. And they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. If my suggestion and Dressbox goes that we find another restaurant, yeah, on it. And so we just rolled the window up and drove to Domino's down the street. But it was like, really? Fucking really? You can't take I'm right here. The computer's right there. I could touch it. If you'll move, I'll type the order in myself. Like, I just want some goddamn pizza. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in 14 hours. Get out of my fucking face. Oh, no, we can't take orders here at the store. Just call the number. We already called the number. Fuck off.
Yeah, that is definitely one of those very weird situations. It's not the first time I've heard something similar to that. I can't remember what the other version was, but it was like, hey, I'm here to get this thing. No. It's like, well, what do you mean? No, I can see it. There it is. Give to me.
Yeah.
But what you mentioned before about how, all this automation, how it's like you're absolutely right. It's not at least in my opinion, it's not necessarily, oh, this automation is taking jobs away from people. It's the fact that companies have weighed the pros and cons, kind of like how in one of the scenes in Fight Club, where he's talking about accidents, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I work for this company, and we see how much the average, payout of an out-of-court settlement is versus a complete recall. And I'm pretty sure in some cases it's been like, do we automate things for, $1 million? Or do we hire on staff throughout the year for $1.2 million? Oh, 1 million's lower. Let's automate everything.
Well,
Go ahead.
we talked about ages ago. There was an ice cream shop that decided to start paying everybody $18 an hour. We talked about this forever and ever ago on the podcast. My current boss, was telling me a story about how he was in the hospital for something. He had, I think, perforated his esophagus or something. He was on the good painkillers. Let's just say that way. They put him on the good shit. And he called my other boss fucking out of his mind blitz because he read that article. It was like, you don't understand. We got to pay everybody that ice cream money. Everybody needs to be making that ice cream money. And they raised the wages at my current job because if that place was going to pay somebody to make $18 an hour, he was going to match it because it takes more skill to do what we do than it does to scoop ice cream. Good on fucking him. That's fantastic. But, no, most people don't do that at all.
Just a quick interjection before we go to Switch, because I know he had something to say, is, yeah, spoiler warning for anyone running a company, if you pay people well and treat them well, aka like human beings, guess what? They'll want to stay with your company and work better for your company.
A 17-hour day on Sunday, 17 hours straight. And I bitched about it a little bit, but I got it all done. And that was 17 hours after 14 hours the day before and 10 hours the day before that. I worked 40 hours in 2.5 days, but that's fine because I was getting paid for it. And when my boss said, do you guys need anything? And I said, yeah, chicken nuggets, because I'm a dick sometimes. He showed up with chicken nuggets. Yes! He brought me nuggets.
The power of the nuggies.
Sorry, Switch.
It's okay. I kind of lost it because of the chicken nuggets, but and by the way, real quick before we move on to the next topic, and this is to go back to the thing I was wondering of who was the one that wanted to help with world hunger. It was actually Elon Musk that offered to the UN to be able to fix that problem. He was going to donate like $900 million to them. Or no, it was $6 billion in the end was the thing. He's like, if it's going to take $6 billion, I'll do it. You just have to show me and the public where that money is going. And they said, no, we're not going to show you where that money's going.
That's because they wanted it to put it in defense spending, probably.
But
I can see that.
That's the current thing. This is all publicly spoken to also on Twitter to be able to do that. And I'm just like, wow. He literally offered. He was like, here, I have $6 billion for you. You just have to show me where it went.
12, buddy, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm worried about you, buddy.
He's a little bit.
You go a little hard on 420?
No, I think there's still a lot of construction going around at his place, and he hasn't been able to sleep well.
It's been go for a while.
Understood.
Just watching you fall asleep up there, I was a little worried about you.
By the way, if anyone was curious, the approximate life expectancy in the U.S. is about 76.6 years. So 2 more years, and I can go ahead and have a midlife crisis.
Let's say 76 years? Oh my god, I can't wait.
Yeah.
These 100-year people, I'm worried to be that old.
Yeah.
I've been old since I was 12. I mean the
you
year,
are 12.
Yeah.
I was 12.
12. Do you have anything you want to go ahead and bring up before we go ahead and talk to Switch about?
I do very briefly. I have to say I'm excited for the
You have
Blade
to
Runner
hold up
TV
the
series.
solarium, 12. You know the
Oh, yeah.
rules. Robert's rules.
There it is.
Rules.
Hidden.
We can see it. It's
We can
blended
barely
into your
see it.
background.
There
There
we
you
There it
go.
Alright.
Blade Runner TV series coming out same time as the new RPG, and I'm perfectly excited for this because it's Blade Runner, right? It's the better version of Cyberpunk, as it were.
I think I've ever seen
Oh.
Blade. I've never seen Blade Runner either. I've never
I've
seen
heard
it
it's
either.
fantastic, but I haven't seen it, and I
I
know I
haven't
should.
seen it either. I've never seen it either. It's Harrison
Oh.
And
Ford,
what-
right?
and-
Yeah, I've just never seen it. It's not that I didn't want to. I just never saw it.
You've at least seen a Star Wars, right?
Star Wars? Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
you've seen
Star
a-
Wars.
Well, there you go. See, you have some nerd cred.
No, wait, Blade Runner's not the. Oh, never mind. No, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say it's the one with the girl with the orange hair. That's final.
No, that's Fifth Element.
That's
Fifth
Fifth
Element.
Element.
Yeah.
Multi-pass? My
Multi-pass.
COVID card. Sorry. I'm sorry. My COVID card isn't a multi-pass.
My sister knows somebody that I think sold those, like the holders for the COVID pass
Yeah.
as the multi pass.
I could have made it myself, but I was just like, meh. It's just 3D printed. You could tell.
Support small businesses.
I suppose the other thing to bring up is Hasbro and D&D. Yeah, they bought D&D Beyond, and they're looking at applying D&D to a bunch of other IPs. So, like, if you could have your own, D&D module based on, I know Moo would be supernatural. I think that goes without saying.
They're not owned by Hasbro. Like, I think that it would be restricted to Hasbro products like My Little Pony or
It's
something.
Candyland.
What's
You're all
happened?
fucked.
What's happened, to clarify a little bit, is Wizards of the Coast owns the books. But what's happened is the D&D Beyond, which is the online stuff, has been bought by Hasbro because D&D had it through a subsidiary to make sure that the online stuff was going with them. So Hasbro bought that sub part of everything, and now they're going to be able to do all the online stuff and make digital books and things that will go along to do those types of things. I don't like green. I don't like red. Let's go green. Oh, hey, we'll do that. But yeah.
Space.
I suppose this means there can be a D&D Voltron.
Oh yeah. It could be D&D everything.
Well, that
I
have
mean,
been. I raised my paddle, Merlin.
I yield the floor.
There's a webcomic that I read called Something Positive. I've been following it for a long time. It started back in like 2002. I didn't start reading it till grad school, but the creator of the comic does a lot of D&D based content, and they do a lot of homebrew type stuff. So like there is one where they do D&D, but they make the My Little Ponies, the little toys into the. He's like, fuck. That's fine, but don't buy any of the sparkly ones. I don't want to figure out how that works in the hierarchy. Just get the regular ponies. And like he creates a gaming system for ponies, or like one of them he creates a gaming system for like Christmas ornaments and shit. It's really neat. It's kind of a cool. There's one where he does, I forget what it's about, but there's like a redneck tree that assaults people. Like something about there's this weird line about getting root deep. But people wrote him so much about this redneck tree that he actually posted the character specifics for the redneck tree so that if other people wanted to put it in their games, they could do that.
Nice.
But what I was gonna say is basically D&D Voltron is kind of like the Rod of 7 Parts or whatever, which is Dragonlance.
I'm not sure.
I believe so. Yes, which they're also bringing back.
So, and then one last thing before we go ahead and take it over to Switch, who is going to go ahead and tell us about the upcoming game releases.
Mention my
A
games.
few days ago, on April 18th, the first official trailer for Marvel Studios' Thor: Love and Thunder released.
That is,
And
that's
it's
cool.
Able to watch it.
looks interesting. It's kind of about Thor, after the events of the Infinity War and everything like that, and he's trying to kind of
Endgame.
re-find himself. So, should be
Yep.
interesting.
I just
Not
have this
major fan
bad
of Thor's.
joke in my head now.
Which
What?
would be
Oh, Jane Foster dated the God of Thunder for a while, and now she's Thor.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, that
It's
is
true.
in the trailer.
I'm kind of disappointed. I like Darcy. Darcy is my favorite. I wanted more of Darcy. I got real excited for a second that that's who the blonde Thor girl was that it was Darcy. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's Darcy.
See,
Oh, it's not Darcy. Fuck.
That would have been cool, though.
so
Oh,
Darcy calls Mjolnir Mew
Mew Mew.
because
Mew, mew.
because she can't say Mjolnir, and if a Mew holds a Mjolnir, it's a Mew Mew Mew.
Mew Mew
Anyways,
Mew.
getting into TikTok galore.
Mew Mew.
um, but games that are coming up, not a ton, but a lot of indie titles coming. What day is it going to be? 25th to start with. First, we have Metal Mind, which looks like a twin stick shooter set into a cyberpunk world. Swords, guns, explosions, and an 8-bit, or it looks like a 16-bit aesthetic. It looks fun. The next game that's coming out, which I am kind of interested in because of just the IP, is Dune Spice Wars. I don't have a whole bunch of what it's all about. Their site won't let me look, but it's probably going to be some type of RTS. Yep, very RTS looking.
Yes,
I
meme.
found it. Huh?
Real-time strategy.
Go ahead. Oh,
Thank you. I didn't know what RTS meant.
yeah, real-time strategy. Sorry about that. We have another game here coming out on the 26th. Yes,
Stepford Wives?
Separate Rogue. Looks like you. Oh, this one. You are basically a plague doctor that you are going around looking for medicines and stuff. And you also are a rogue thief, and you're trying to cure a town from a plague. Uh-huh. One last one that looks really fun. It looks a lot like one game I have played before. It is a turn-based strategy game. Again, RTS. It is Kaiju Wars. You're fighting off kaiju to save your town with your tanks and artillery and planes. And I'm
Kaiju
sorry,
are
Moo.
monsters like Godzilla, Moo.
Yeah, I figured she'd know that one.
I wasn't sure.
What you
But
were saying. I'm sorry.
we were telling you that kaiju are like Godzilla.
Giant
Yeah, I did
monsters.
know that.
Yeah.
I read Ready Player One
Oh, you read the book? Okay, excellent. I like
and
that
Ready
version.
Player Two. Fuck the movie. Fuck it so hard. It's
It's
awful.
just two different versions of the same story.
Armada is also very good too. The other book he wrote, it's about a video game. Solid.
I've listened
Sorry.
to. I've listened to it. Or I've listened to that one as well. It's good. It's very tropey with all that
Yes.
stuff. One thing I do recommend for the people that are watching on YouTube, board game that I have today is Wrong Party. Wrong Party is a quick drafting game where you're trying to get you have a specific type of party that's happening. Let's say like a birthday party, like a raid party or a rave party, and you're trying to get the right people to go to the party as you're drafting your characters and your game points. And it's a fun game where you kind of sabotage each other. $25 on Amazon and probably $25 at your local store. Very fun game, and its publisher is Unstable Games for Unstable Unicorns and all the Here to Slay games. Turtle Tea, if you want some of their merch in that regard. Very, very good game. Not sponsored, but definitely
Not
recommend.
sponsored,
But hashtag recommend. Yes.
I was waiting for you to be done with video games.
I'm done.
Before we go into the Geeky Wiki, can I bring up something important about today? Because I know wibbly wobbly timey wimey, but I do want to throw this out there. Get a little serious for a second, because today, again, is 420 from where we're talking about. And I found this really great post. It's an old one. It actually goes back to 2018. It's from Margaret McLaughlin, and it's on Twitter. It says, "Happy 420. As you get high today, remember, the wealthy have always been able to get stoned and not get in trouble. Black people who were forced out of the formal economy use drug dealing as a way to make ends meet. The white racist prison system jailed them and continue to. Weed legalization has largely benefited white people, driving more wealth into their pockets. Black people who face time for this will continue to see the market they built co-opted by the rich and be discriminated against in the job market for having been jailed. Therefore, any discussion of legalization of marijuana must include retroactive justice reform, release every person who has been jailed for possession or sale of marijuana, expunge the records of everyone who has been jailed for these crimes." Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
One more very quick bit of video game news. At the time that this releases, you have less than a week to go on Kickstarter.com and go ahead and kickstart and get your copy of the indie game Toasty, which has that wonderful marshmallow protagonist named Marshall. It is created by a wonderful VTuber, low polygon llama by the name of It's Duper. Highly recommend checking out his stream, his videos, and this game. All right, Geeky Wiki time. Starting with Sunday, April 24th. I believe my sneaky peeky at the Geeky Wiki was National Skipping Day, as in busting out your jump rope and doing a couple of hops and jumps. April 24th is also National Pet Parents Day, National Pigs in a Blanket Day. Now, some people call pigs in a blanket different things. Like, I have heard pigs in a blanket referred to as cabbage rolls, but when I think of pigs in a blanket, I think of what they're showing me here on the National Day calendar, which is little hot dogs wrapped in, like, crescent rolls, which are delicious.
The correct answer.
It is also Orthodox Easter Day for the Orthodox Catholic religions, whatever. And World Pinhole Photography Day. Monday, April 25th, National Liberation Day for... Is that Spain? Celebrated every year. Prime Minister of Italy. Yeah. Il Giorno della Liberazione. National Liberation Day. For Italy. World Malaria Day. National Zucchini Bread Day. National Telephone Day, National Hug a Plumber Day, so go out and find your Mario or Luigi and give them a big old hug. National Hairstylist Appreciation Day, National DNA Day, as in deoxyribonucleic acid, Anzac Day, which is... for Australia and New Zealand, it is the most important and revered national occasion. The acronym stands for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. So it's to celebrate the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps. It is also National Lingerie Day. Ooh la la.
We like presents and...
Sorry, it's going to take like a month to get there, okay?
Here's the question, though. Is lingerie a present for the woman or the man?
Depends, to be perfectly... Am I allowed to answer this? Because it's Geeky Wiki.
Yeah.
Depends on lingerie, they're diapers.
Oh. But chink, that was a good one. I'll give you that one. I think it depends on what the point is. I know some people... like my ex, not super into lingerie. He could take it or leave it. So lingerie was more something that made me feel good about me. Dress blacks, from what I can tell, He doesn't dislike it. He's going to take it off anyway, though. So it's really kind of a moot point. But I would say it also depends the intent behind it. Like, for instance, one time I bought something that the top of it was just weird, right? Like it was from Shein. That's what you get when you order stuff third party from China. It happens. And like whoever built the top was like my boobs would have had to be out here. Like this is where it came up. It was like wrapped the outside, which covers nothing. There's no point in that. It doesn't do anything. But if I put it on and hand dress blacks and knife, fun for everybody. It becomes something that for $6 we get to destroy. And in that case, I think that was definitely more so for him. I think Titmouse was there for that one too. That was a fun one. We got to destroy something. It was a good time.
Always practice bedroom safety, by the way.
Yes. I would not just hand a knife to anybody and say go for it. I trust him to know what he's doing with the knife. Also, again, Titmouse was there. I trust her to, maybe if he had just been like, I'm fucking crazy all of a sudden and started just, she would have stopped him.
Well, there was a party where you were worried about going crazy and biting off somebody's, I
was worried about going crazy and biting off somebody's dick. I did not go crazy and bite dicks. That didn't happen. I have never, and Titmouse and Dress Blacks can attest to this, I have never bitten a dick. I've bitten a lot of other things. I've never bitten a dick.
April 25th is also Every Kid Healthy Week, and National Infant Immunization Week begins.
Yeah,
very important.
Vaccinate your kids.
Go get your children immunized.
All of them. All of them. Like when you're supposed to. Do it on time. Vaccinate your fucking kids. Oh, but autism. No, they don't cause autism. You want to know what's fucking worse than autism? Even if it did, polio. Polio is worse. Jesus fucking Christ, vaccinate your kids. I'm very passionate about this. I'm sorry.
Tuesday, April 26th is Audubon Day. Get Organized Day. National Dissertation Day. National Help a Horse Day. Ride a cowgirl. National...
Did you make yourself giggle?
A little bit. National Pretzel Day and Richter Scale Day. Ride a cowgirl. April 27th, which is a Wednesday, is National Devil Dog Day. Of course, we are talking about that delicious, tasty treat of two slightly elongated chocolate cake kind of things with a delicious cream center. Some of them are called different things, different places, but I think colloquially a lot of the time they're known as devil dogs. Look it up.
Frakes is the brand that makes them. It's kind of like a ding dong, like a Hostess ding dong, but without the chocolate coating on the outside. It's more of a softer chocolate cake. I know my snack cakes. Get my big old chubby face. I know my snack cakes.
April 27th is also Yom HaShoah, which takes place on 27th, adjacent to the Jewish Sabbath. It begins at sunset on the 27th and ends at sunset on the 28th. Is a Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's also National Telestory Day, National Prime Rib Day, National Guide Dog Day. Oh, I'm sorry, International Guide Dog Day. Woof. Denim Day, so go ahead and bust out your Canadian tuxedos. Womp womp. Babe
Free
Ruth
tuxedo
Day.
$12 is a Canadian tuxedo.
Denim.
Denim.
That's right. Babe Ruth Day, Administrative Professionals Day, and Patrick Stump's birthday.
Fuck is Patrick Stump?
Apparently, he is an American musician, well known for being the frontman of the band, I don't know, Fall Out Boy?
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that, though. So, Thursday, April 28th, is Great Poetry Reading Day, National Blueberry Pie Day, National Bravehearts Day, National Kids and Pets Day, National Superhero Day, Stop Food Waste Day, Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day, Take Our Kids to Work Day, and Workers' Memorial
right.
Day.
Bring the goats to work. Bring the goats to work. Sons,
Good.
daughters, kids. Sons, daughters, kids.
I got it.
Bring your kids to work. Meh.
Kids,
Like,
goats.
there
Gotcha.
you go. It's not as funny when I have to squeak the explanation out.
Some would argue it may be funnier. Friday, April 29th, National Zipper Day, National Shrimp Scampi Day, National Peace Rose Day, National Hairball Awareness Day, National Arbor Day, and International Dance Day. Saturday, April 30th, National, I am going to pronounce this wrong, and I know Moo's going to correct me because I'm pretty sure she knows what it is, National Sarcoidosis Day?
Good job.
National Rebuilding Day, National Raisin Day, National Oatmeal Cookie Day. I love a good oatmeal cookie. I don't like them when they're too crisp. Well, see, that's the thing. There's one brand that I like that's the super crispy oatmeal cookie with the just vanilla glaze on top.
Iced oatmeal ones. Those are baller.
Those ones are good. But my uncle makes a dynamite oatmeal raisin cookie recipe, and what he says he does is he like doubles the amount of oatmeal he uses and the amount of raisins, but then like keeps everything else the same. And you'd think, well, they're not going to cook right that way. They do.
Makes an oatmeal raisin cookie that has, like, she uses regular raisins and golden raisins, and it's delicious. It's the best oatmeal cookie I've ever had. I gotta give her that. She makes a damn good oatmeal cookie.
April 30th is also National Military Brats Day, National Kiss of Hope Day, National Bubble Tea Day. Ooh, let's go out and get some bougie smoothies or bubble tea.
Different
Sounds
things,
like a
but
plan.
yes.
I know, but, I figured we could get bubble tea at the bougie smoothie place.
No,
Sadly not. No?
they're not the same thing. But I'll hold you to that, Merlin, because I'll have the demons that day, and they love bubble tea.
All right, you find a place.
I know a place.
All right. It's also National Bugs Bunny Day, National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, International Jazz Day. You like jazz? Honesty Day, National Sense of Smell Day, and the birthday of Diana Agron, Gal Gadot, and Travis Scott.
Interesting.
Finally, as we jump into the very next month, your sneaky peeky at next week's Geeky Weeky starts with Sunday, May 1st. Let's go ahead and go with National Lemonade Day.
Sounds yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is...
What's up?
12, you okay? You good, buddy? Okay. This is normally where I talk about something naughty, but I don't know if you've noticed, I don't have a lot of voice left. Trying to keep going. And I had a point to this. And mostly it was to embarrass myself. So last night we recorded Kink Quest, which, if again, wibbly wobbly timey wimey, it'll come out after this podcast. So you'll be able to hear what I sounded like last night, and you can hear what I sound like right now.
Plus, there's
Spoiler.
our new YouTube video where Moo and I play 60 Seconds Reatomized.
There is, so if you want to hear what I sounded like yesterday, you can. But, spoiler alert, if you've ever tried to make any type of noise during sex when you don't have a voice, I cannot accurately explain the noises that came out of me, because some of them I was making noise and nothing was coming out. And what was that, Jabez?
They weren't so bad.
They weren't so bad. They weren't so bad. But I told Dressblacks, they were kind of, thank you. They were kind of cute. And so I told Dressblacks, I said I was trying to make sounds. They just weren't coming out. Like, and I was making the same sounds I normally would, just it wasn't working. And Dressblacks goes, no, I can hear you. I had a much harder time interpreting what those noises were.
Pretty sure those are good noises, not bad noises.
It really was.
I think I'm doing something right.
Well, and most of the time, like, it's not a problem, right? But, like, if you try anything that you don't normally do when you can't interpret, you pretty, like, this just goes back once again to open and honest communication. Sometimes you can't rely on your partner to understand what the noises that you're making mean. So if something is a problem, you need to use your words. And I recognize that this is difficult for some people. I recognize that they lose their words during sex because it's happened to me, right? Make sure you discuss a nonverbal cue with your partner beforehand if this is something that you struggle with. Because there was a point last night where some of our activities, normally I think he would have heard the noises that I was making and he would have slowed down. But I had to go, oh, wait, hang on, just give me a second, which is not something I normally have to do. Normally I do not have to speak actual words. I did this time. And that's not on him, that's on me. So I just wanted to take a moment to stress the importance. Because I think, and I hate to call her out like this, but this is a thing for Bunny too, isn't it? Bunny loses words sometimes.
Yes, I have to check in every so often just to make sure we're on the same page still. Normally I can just tell from how she is, but like after she will come a couple times, then we have to be like, okay, do you need to stop? And then it's either a nod or a
Yeah. Seen this happen before, and you are very good about. We were at a Target, and she stayed very close to Switch the entire time because if she has a seizure in the store, she needs somebody there that knows what to do. And I was like, I don't mind doing that. Just tell me what the protocol is, and we got this, right? But Switch just knows. He doesn't have to wait for her to say something. He sees the triggers. I don't yet. But I've watched him with her in other situations too. Again, where to hear him say, "Are you okay? Do you need to stop?" So, first of all, find a partner that advocates for you, but second of all, be prepared to advocate for yourself. 12. Do you have any type of experience with situations like this?
I was muted. What are we talking about?
King God, you haven't listened to anything? Fuck off. You don't get a turn to talk then. I'm done with you. Merlin, do you have any... Actually, I know you have experience like this because I've said it to you. There was a moment where I said, wait, stop, slow down. And I know I've said it. You may not remember
Probably
it.
a long
I
time.
remember it. It wasn't that long ago.
But I am a very accommodating lover. So
he's not wrong. Just make
I
sure
even
that
pack
you're...
Snickers bars sometimes. # not sponsored.
This is not... he's not kidding. It was a Twix and a Snickers. I got a Twix and it was delicious. Best aftercare ever. Jesus Christ, you're typing so loud. See, now your mic is open. You're killing me, 12. You're killing me. So
But,
yeah, find a
open and
partner
honest
that...
communication.
Nope, go ahead.
Open and honest communication, and I know we've said this before, and we've said it a long, long time ago when we first started doing this. One of the most important things about open and honest communication is you can't just say something and then have the person misinterpret it and then you just let it go. You need to kind of be like, no, like I understand the misconception, and you can be nice about it and stuff like that, because usually open and honest communication between people that are taking part in adult activities isn't just on a whim. It can be, but you know what I mean. But just as a friendly reminder, harder does not mean faster.
Harder does not mean faster. And harder...
Common misconception, I feel.
Harder... Yes, Twitch, sorry.
I lost all my lights and my headpiece, so using some tape, some restrictive things. There, see, that works in. But real quick, it's very easy to tell when Bunny has a seizure. but I feel like I am a seizure dog sometimes because I'm like, wait a
I
second,
called you
I'm gonna have
that
to.
before, yeah.
I don't even look. I'm like, you okay? She's like, I'm like, okay, I've got you here. Um, but it's really when she
Yes.
stares and when she stops moving, and then she'll be like, nope, nope, and I'm like, okay. And this procedure is just to make sure she doesn't hit the floor.
Yeah, she doesn't have like what you see in the movies where they twitch. It's kind of like an absence seizure. She just sort of zones real bad, but
She does twitch, but she doesn't like flail. Like,
right, not like what you see in the movies. Yeah.
Well, that's the ones that I may be wrong, but I think the ones that come with the very violent seizures are often called, what is it, grand mal?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes.
But
fuck, what was I gonna say?
Harder is not faster.
Harder is not faster. Harder, faster, and deeper are all different words. Like I don't for whatever reason last night was
just like polyamory in other words.
I said it before, I'll say it again because you got me started. Polyamory, polygamy, and bigamy are not the same thing. And if one more person tells me that polyamory is illegal, I'm gonna lose my shit. Polyamory is not illegal. Bigamy is illegal. You cannot legally marry more than one person. You can't. You just can't. Period. And if sister wives taught me anything, you can't have a marriage in a spiritual union. You got to be careful with what the fuck you're doing. Polyamory is not bigamy. It's not illegal. 12, go ahead.
Polyamory is illegal.
I'm going to beat the absolute shit out of you. I understand you think you're being funny. It's not funny. Polyamory is not illegal. Fuck you all. Fuck.
Sorry, I had to hear that rant a second time, which you'll be hearing it from the first time on Wednesday coming up.
Yes. I just wanted to see how Squeaky should get response.
Listen,
I think
I can pull my voice back into like a weird corner of my throat and I can talk normal, but that actually hurts. If I talk over here, I kind of sound like an angry Batman, but I'm less squeaky. It's the closest thing I can get to normal.
Like 6-year-old Batman.
Yesterday, I pulled it.
To drop. Where are they?
Yesterday, I pulled it over to the side. See, I almost had it. And I can sort of sound normal. And today, it's not having it at all. I sound like I've smoked for 900 years. I can't. Yesterday, I was okay. It was just deeper. Today, it's not going. I can't slide it. This is just what I fucking sound like.
Well, then, in reverence, so to speak, to Moo's voice, I think we'll go ahead and call it there for tonight, if that's okay with everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So, as always, wonderful listeners and viewers, and hell, maybe we'll go ahead and turn this into a screenplay or something like that, and you can go ahead and read it on the pages of the theater that you're going to be putting this on at. What the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know where he's going.
Please remember to be excellent to each other.
Yes, enjoy yourselves and love yourselves. Be good to yourselves. Give yourselves grace. Check out the link tree that Switched set up for us at linktr.ee/nerdgasm N3RDGA5M.
Boom.
Have some chocolate.
That's better. Tried. Those are words of wisdom. Have some chocolate.
Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have any weird little quips today, but stay naughty, everybody.
Stay naughty. Yeah, until next time, thanks for listening, and bye for now. We'll talk to you later. I forget all my catchphrases.
We've mixed it up with the link tree.